In this video, I want to show you how to use the index and match functions. This is a great alternative to using VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP because it will give you more control of the results. For convenience, I'm going to make these Excel tables by selecting the data, clicking Insert Table, let's take a look at each of these functions. So the index function takes at least 2, potentially 3 arguments, a table array, a row number, and a column number or a column number. The match function takes a lookup value and a lookup array. So I think it's helpful to see what the result of a match. If we wanted to look up miles in this table, say 500, and we wanted to look in this miles column, because there's not an exact match, we should use less than, because the match type will be different for each. Less than finds the largest value that is less than or equal to the lookup value, and a condition is that the lookup array must be in ascending order, which it already is, so let's use less than. The result is 5. So what it's doing is it's looking for the value less than 500. So 500 would go about here. The value less than that is 400. So it returns 5, which is the 5th row down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so now let's put those together to return the number of days based on the miles. So first we'll do index function. Remember, the first argument is the array that we want to return from. So that's the number of days. I don't have to make it absolute because I'm referencing a table. Now the row number, for this argument, we want to return the number. So in this case, it was 800 over 800, so that would be row 6. And we can return that dynamically using the match function. So our lookup value is the cell reference of the miles. The lookup array is the miles on the table. Once again, less than because we don't have exact matches, and the table is in ascending order. So it's rounding down to 800 and returning 8. 400, it's rounding down to 400 and returning 7 days. 5, rounding down to 0 miles, returning 1 days. So why is doing this superior than getting the same result from a VLOOKUP? Well, a limitation of the VLOOKUP is that the lookup value, in our case miles, would have to be the same, the first column. And in this case it was, but imagine if it was swapped with price. You would have to redesign your table to use the VLOOKUP, but with the match function it doesn't matter where it's located in the table. So that's one great advantage. Another advantage is that you can choose to do ascending order or descending order and round up or down. So right now we're doing the match type less than, but we could change that to be greater than if we put it in descending order, change this to a -1 to make greater than or equal to the lookup value. So now let's look at the second column. So 421 miles, that's going to round up to 800 miles and now return 8 days. So it's rounding up now instead of rounding down. So 5 miles, that's going to round up to 50 miles and return 2. So you have a little more control over a VLOOKUP. The reason why it's saying NA is because there's nothing to round up from 800. So to resolve that, we would have to add an additional miles for 9 days. So let's revert back to ascending order. Great. And less than match. Let's find delivery price now. So I'll copy formula over. Now we have to modify the match. So we want to match miles again. There's our miles. The price shifted over conveniently. And let's make sure it's working. So just 400, 150, $20. So looks like it's working. Finally, let's apply this to a more difficult problem, the product pricing, returning those prices. So we have a color and a number shipped. We want to use those to look up the correct price and return it in the H column. So first we use the index. So the first argument is the table array that we are returning values from. So that will be all of the prices. Now the second argument is the row number. So that's going to be one of these. We need to use the match function to return the row number dynamically. The lookup value for the number shipped is going to be this cell here. The lookup array, where we're looking up that number, is the number shipped column. And in this case, we can use exact match because they exactly match. Close that match. Now here's the tricky part. Since we're using two, a row and a column, we're back to the index function. So we've got the first argument in, the second argument in, and now for the third argument, we're going to use the column, blue or red. So we use now, if it's going to be red, we want to return 2. Blue is going to be 1. Let's use another match function. the lookup value is red, this column, this cell I mean. Where we're looking that color up is these two column headers. And once again we can use exact match. Close the curved brackets. 800, let's copy down. Double check it's working. So if the color is red, the number shipped 4. Red 4, 800, blue 10, 1100. Yep. So give that a whirl. I think you'll find once you master this, you'll never have to use VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP again, and you'll be better off for it. Thanks for watching.